Number one advantage of single-sex education for both girls and boys is that it enhances educational opportunity.
Leonard Sax, a psychologist, is founder and executive director of the National Association for Single-Sex Education.
It allows girls to find out who they are, to pursue their interests in math and computer science. It allows boys who might be interested in art, music, drama, to pursue those interests. In co-ed schools, girls and boys are funneled into gender stereotypes. In single-sex schools, you break down gender stereotypes, you enhance educational opportunity.
Government has no business segregating by sexes and engaging in invidious discrimination.
Lenora Lapidus is an attorney for the ACLU.
Separate is not equal. This was a long-standing ruling from the 1954 decision in Brown versus Board of Education that challenged race-segregated schools. And the Supreme Court said separating the races is inherently unequal. So you cannot have separate but equal.
Suppose within one school you could have equal resources for the single-sex boys class, the single-sex girls class, and the co-ed class, and offer families a choice.
Well, I think the question again is, what would you gain by that? Why not have a separate class for black students and a separate class for...
Because that's inherently unconstitutional.
And we believe the same is true with gender.
Separating kids by gender, how is that different from racial segregation?
Racial categories are socially constructed. You can't look at a piece of brain tissue under the microscope and tell me whether it came from a white person or a black person, but you can look at a piece of brain tissue under the microscope and say whether it came from a woman or a man.
The ACLU says Title IX should stay exactly the way it is. In fact, the ACLU has successfully sued to shut down single-sex public schools on the grounds of gender discrimination.
You may have these anecdotes, but the research does not show any conclusive improvement academically in single-sex programs. And the other thing that single-sex schools cannot address is interactions in society. This is a society made up of women and men interacting. And
the co-ed world?
It's a co-ed world, and if students are not a part of that at a younger age, then they're not learning the skills to interact that they will need later on.
People who say that single-sex education isn't valid because it's not the real world are people who have not taken a moment to think about how a school differs from the workplace. School is not the workplace. It should not be the workplace. It should differ from the workplace in just the same way that the soldier's training ground differs from the battleground.